Mhm. Testing, testing. Okay, I believe we are active. Going to just check YouTube. Okay, yeah, we're there. It's not showing anything, but we are there. Let's figure out why it's not showing anything. Okay, now it's showing something. Oh, that's why. Not picking up a sprite for some reason. All right, we'll just share the screen. Okay. There we go. Okay. So, where is it? There we go. Okay. So we're going to be doing a couple of things today. The first one is I'm going to finish up this chakram. The second, so this part of it is finished. This part of it is finished. We just need to do this part, and then make the change to this part to add the front end. Then after that, I'm going to use a little bit of AI to try to basically take this iteration of the chakram that I make and kind of make it into um, something else. Like I just want to see what other ideas the AI decides to throw at it when I tell it I want a chakram image, right? Based a pixel image of the chakram based on the image that I give it. Um, and so that'll give me like an idea of the different kinds of chakrams that are possible. And it'll also, I don't think there's a lot of content on YouTube that I've seen. Maybe there is, where someone actually who's developing, let's say, a video game actually shows that AI can be used to help really, like you, I'm not the fastest guy at this stuff, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure you can get like a pro sprite artist to get what I was trying to get done in like 10 minutes, but I'm almost 100% sure of that. But I mean, I have my own ways as I'm learning all of these different things. Um, so one of the things that I found is that AI really does help with speeding up the idea creation process. But if you have to pick up on, you have to take the time to really yourself learn exactly like how these, like knowing that I should be counting to try to maintain that count in order to get the visual representation that I'm looking for is something that you have to learn. Otherwise, you really are dependent on a software that, you know, you have to ask, should you be dependent on this? Anyway, part of what I'm going to be going for now is just finishing this up. So let's just take a look. Let me first make sure that this is actually showing proper. It looks like it is. Okay. Okay. So, um, we have our handle here. We have this part done. So it's really just taking care of this. Once we take care of this side, we can just flip it like we've done before and put it here. So really, there's only two parts left. This part and this part. So let's take a look here. This is our reference. So this kind of looks like a straight line in a way, like it's just curved ever so slightly, right? And so this never really, this is higher, much higher. So can we get away with something? Let's find out. Um, oops. One, so it's 1 pixel higher. I think that's just about right, I'll be honest. Right? And then at about this point, right? And so this should be higher. So this should be about right here, what this is. So let's go here. Let's grab that. So at about this point, let's see, we have 1, 2, 3. So at about 3 from this. So 1, 2. So actually, let's do this. 1, 2, and then 1. All right, so if that wasn't here, that's what that would look like to maintain itself as circle, I think. No, there we go. 1, 2, 1. Okay. So now it is here though. So the issue is that we have no descending. So in reality, it is descending. It's just... So let's actually just do the descent first. I think that's a bit too harsh. Yeah. So let's do 1 like that. So the pattern is, let's say that's 2, 2, 1, 2. That's 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. That's not going to work. If we look here, this is 2, right? We just need like a general idea of where this is going to pick this part up in order to maintain that circular look. I think like that is fine. I think that's where it's going to be. Because this is going to go up over here and then hook over, right? It's going to, the height of it is going to be 1 pixel here. Let's mark that. Should be like around here at 1 pixel. And it's going to basically go over into this direction. And let's erase this stuff. All right, this is kind of where the hook is going to be. One, two. So we go 1, 2. Let's erase this. Okay. We go 4. Now what is this? 1, 2. How much is this? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we went 4, and then 2, and then we went 1. And then we went 2 down. Wait, 1, 4, 2, 4, 2, 1. And then this goes 2 down. And then... No, we screwed up. I think we screwed... No, I don't think we think we're okay. This went 2 down. And then like that. Okay. Right? So that's the outside of it, is the idea. So now the question, this is identical to this. So now the question is, Yeah, so now the question is it in the right position? Now, according to this, this should be like that curve that's going up, which is what this is, right? And this is giving us enough room. I think what's throwing off the eyes is this part. Right, so this should have a total between here and the circle 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is way, way, way too much into it. Because we need to have, from here, we need to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we are 2 off. But if we went over here, so if we started here, we would actually be fine. So what we can do is we can just take this and make the small sacrifice. We're just going to move it over here. There. That's where we're actually going to start it. Right? And then we're just going to go full on white. So now there is kind of a decline here. Right? There is actually a decline there. If you look at it, it's kind of like a little loop kind of situation. So I'm thinking we can just do this, which is this is supposed to be this point is when that happens. So then that gives us 2. Like that. Right? And so now this is fine. This is going to be like that. And then this is going to get 1 before it goes like that. Right? So let's just count it. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're good. Okay. And then the position from here until we get to this is 2. So this is here. 1. So here is where this should start. And then we just fill in the rest. I feel like we're missing something here. Ah, right. I think it's supposed to be like that. Something is off there. This is supposed to be 2. Let's see. 1, 2. 1, 2. We have 3. Oh, I see. Okay. And then over here now, we need to have this part. Right. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Hey, okay. I think that's it. Okay. Pretty sure that that's getting done that way. Next, we just need to take this now. Let's go here. I'm going to take all of this. And we're just going to delete it. Right? And then we're just going to go here. Actually, you know what? Let's make it completely. Let's help ourselves out a little bit. We're gonna take we're gonna take this from here. I think that is it. Take that. This is lately. Yeah, I think that's fine. Right? So that's a portion of it. And we just take this, reflect it over here, and then take that, reflect it. What the heck? Did I make a mistake there? Should be lining up perfectly. Yeah, something is off. Something went off. Let's do this then. Again, all I'm doing really is looking over here at the bottom, and I'm just looking at the percentage that it's going to give me. That's really it. I'm not really eyeballing it. Ah, oh, come on. One misclick. You would think I could just do this, right? But nope, it's actually doable. There we go. Something seems off there again, though. Say what? This is what we're going to do. We're going to bring this back. We're going to find out what the heck is going on here. I think this is a problem that existed. For this. So what I'll do is instead, I'm just going to take this. Oops. This is what it should originally have been. We're just going to... There we go. Just going to reflect it. Why did it just do that? I thought I pasted. There we go. Okay, that's what it should. So it is off. It's off big time. So we can just actually delete all of this because this whole thing is off. None of it is making sense, that part. So we look at it like that. Then what is this? This part should mirror this part, right? These two, let's just make sure. Yep, okay, so they do. Okay, so then if I go and grab from here, going forward, we should be okay. Okay, done. There we go. So now the question actually is, which I should have asked before I did this, is this part matching this part? Let's do a quick count. One. Start from here. One. Nope, we're not. Something is off here. And it's also showing up here, because this is way too far over. This should be like further back. So yeah. Okay, now it matches. Well, it doesn't match perfectly, but it's close enough. Right? This is going to the second one here. This is going all the way down. Sure, the perfectionist in me is screaming. Saying you're gonna regret it if you don't make it pixel perfect. Okay. Hmm. Think we have to go one up. Let's do a count. How far is this? Is this? This is the first one here. This should be. Ah, I think it was actually right the last time. You know what? I'm gonna leave it this way. I think it's fine this way. I think it looks okay. I'm gonna leave it that way. That way's fine. It's easy to fix on this side too, so why not? Okay. All right. So now we just need to tighten up this side. Make it look good. So this is 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We got 2 slots here. We just need to get rid of this. This is fine. This is identical. And then this is going 2. And then this is like that. Okay. So now the last part is this. Right? So this is the final part. Would be nice if I could just do this. Let's see if I can get rid of this or do this thing. Why 0.3? Just give me 90. I don't need 0.3. Yeah, okay. That actually looks kind of doable. Let's erase all of this. I don't know. Oops. Yeah, no, we're okay. Okay. So, yeah. Basically, yeah, this is garbage. You can't, I don't know, maybe there's a setting on a sprite, but it's really terrible when it comes to handling rotations on pixels. Okay. You know, I'm going to try to do this with Microsoft Paint and see what happens. I know GIMP can handle it pretty quickly, but I don't feel like, oh, what happened here? What am I looking at? Okay, thank you. And then it has that rotation stuff, right? Where is it? I think this is it. All right, let's just do it by hand. There's no shortcut around that one, huh? All right, so let's just take a look. So basically, this is kind of doing the same thing this is doing here, right? So all we have to do is just emulate it. Uh, so it's from here, which is right here. We have 2. Let's actually just fill all of this in real quick. So now it's almost like we're carving. So this is 1. So we go here, 1, 2, which is this part. And then we go the rest of the way. Right? That's the idea. But this one is a little different. We need to fill out this side. This is a little different because I think this wants to be further down. We need to adjust this. Should be 1 pixel above. Yes. Okay, good. And over to the right. This should give us enough room. Back going. It looks a little bit weird here, but just give it 1 sec. This is accurate for what this is. Now it's just a matter of emulating that. So the idea is that we're going to go here. Let's do this then. Right? That should do it. And now that gives us 2 pixels of room for this, which I think it's going to need 2 more. I'll be honest with you. I think it's going to need 2 more pixels. So the only place I can think to get that is here. I don't like it, but I think that's it. Still 1 pixel up. We need room. I need to go 1 pixel down. It's going to throw this off, but in order to fit this one, I think I need to go 1 pixel down. But it's not as big of a throw off as anything I could do here, I think. It's something else is happening here. Let me see something. 1, 2, oh, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 pixels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11 pixels. Yep. Right. All right. This one is a little bit different because this one from here to here is 15 pixels. All right. Grr. This one's going to have to be different. We need to wrap this up. So let me just, yeah, we need to wrap this up. I'm going to just do this real quick. I'm realizing I'm spending way too much time pondering on possibilities. Sorry about that. I hate this thing sometimes, man. There we go. It just gets so annoying. Okay. We just need this as a kind of way of understanding how far off I am from where I should be. Yeah, okay. I'm actually pretty close, but unfortunately I can't find that extra pixel that I need from over here on this side. It's just not, it's not a possibility. So we're just going to go back in time. Okay, so what do we need to get done? We need to do a quick count. We have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. This is now 1 up. This is not supposed to be 1 above this, so I need to move this back 1. Right? And this needs to go back 1. Okay, there. Then the next thing is that this part right here needs to be fixed. There's something off with it. So let's just fill it in real quick. And chisel it out. So we have the 2 here, right? And then we go 1, and then we go, this is 1, and then 2. I see, that's what the problem was. I see the problem. 1, 2. We went off by bringing this over to the left. We went off. This actually has to go back. Boo. My eyes got used to seeing it over here, though. All right, let's look at this. This should be 1. The high point of this should be 1 pixel over to the left of this. Right, which it is. And this should be white. This should be white. Why is it not? Should be, oh. Okay. Now, this part, let's just draw something, I guess. Maybe I'll get lucky. Who knows? Uh, so then we draw, just put together that. We have a few issues here. Gosh. So we need to get that hook that this has. So this is 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You know what? I think I see what the issue is. I'm going to do this. One space over to the left. That gives me some room on the right, and I think that centers the whole thing, because we're 1 pixel up here, we have 2 pixels here, right? So we want to get 1 pixel on the left and 1 pixel on the right. There we go. So now I have an additional pixel to play with that I should be filling in based on just how over here is filled in. I think that's what the issue was. So I have 1 pixel here, 1 pixel here, one pixel here, and now we have some pixels over here to work with. That's, I think, going to make my life so much easier. Now I can do something like this and just have like a general shape. Right? And then I can do something like this. We know we're not going to fill this in. And then looking right here, we are doing, once we hit 2 pixels away, so roughly around right here, but then the arc here, so we need to go 2 pixels down from that. So that would be right here, roughly. And so we need to do, give that room 1, 2. Nope. 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 I wish I could do that and get away with it. Maybe I can. Hold on. Well, this is off anyway, so maybe that's what's throwing my eyes off a bit. But this part right here is off. And that should be like that. Come on. Okay, so that's still good. So it's two. Let's start from that side. 2, 3. So let's assume that this needs to be smaller, I guess. Something off, like there's a position off or something. Like the peak should be the biggest part. Right, this part right here should be the most clear, of course. But there's something throwing it off. This is horizontally pointed down. It's definitely. So I think that's what's throwing it off. This is pointing inwards. This is pointing that way. This is pointing down. Technically speaking, this is doing more like what this is doing. This actually be pointing. This is pointing up. This should be pointing kind of to the right. This is kind of whatever. This is okay. But this should be pointing down. And this should be pointing over here. So this one is off. It's too hard tilted. Okay, so all I did there is that I just drew a line so that way I had like a frame of reference on exactly what it is. All right, fair enough. So now for my next trick, it's to go back to this layer and we just erase everything on this layer real quick. Hey, so now we just have colors, so we just want to get those colors in there. So first, of course, this thing is supposed to be black, right? And it's a kind of metallic black, so let's go with this. Oops, there you go. Okay, next, it's supposed to have kind of white, let's call it white. Wait, what's going on? This thing, 8, one of the colors. So we'll call this, I want to keep the colors as minimal. Oh, come on. As few colors, different colors as possible. So I want to try to keep it to like 3 or 4 colors. Okay. So now the next is going to be the white color. Actually, you know what? Let's do this on this layer. I like it doing that. We can go back to, oops, we can go back to this layer and draw a red line from here, here, here to here. Right? That should help me with that. Then we can just delete, yeah, this. Okay. So now we have a small problem. Can you see what the problem is? No longer centered. I wonder, now that we have like the 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 big problem that was here figured out, let me see something. Mm, no, no, look better the way we did it before. Yeah, that looks better to me. Yeah, and it gives us that 1 pixel. Anyway, so yeah, we lost our center. So we have to basically just redo it. Right? So now our center here. Or there. Okay, that's our center. Now, how I was able to figure that out is pretty simple. A combination of just eyeballing it, and at the same time, all of these are 1, 1, 1, 1, 1s going up. That's pixel is really just about counting pixels, pixel art, from what I can tell. Okay, so now we can go to layer 3. And in layer 3, we can, oh, didn't I? There we go. In layer 3, we can do this. And now we can draw our circles. So the circle that we want to paint first is a white one. All right, let's start from over here. So we're starting from number 2. Nope, don't work. So this is number 5. This is so weird. Close enough. Good enough. And then we just delete this part. Yeah, that's good enough. All right, it has the internal spikes. And we want to make this solid black. No, 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 no. Yeah. No. We're going to make this gray. This is going to be our third color. Wait, no. Yeah, third. Fourth color. We're going to go with 4 colors total. Okay. It's going to be our 4th color. And finally, There you go. So now let's just save this. Yeah, we're gonna put it, make a new folder, and we're just gonna call this RPG project art. And this is gonna be our. Just make a new folder. Weapon sprite. Um. Um. There we go. So that's a 32 by 32 chakram. Took like, what, a minute to make it? But it's made. What's this? This is something wrong. That's what that is. Yeah, something off there. So, I see. There we go. Done. Okay, so now for my next trick, we need to go to this part. Where is it? Art. And weapon sprite. Chakram 1. What does it say? Oops. Did I knock it? Oh, there it is. Export. PNG. Export. So we can get rid of this layer, this layer. Save. Export. There you go. All right, so now let's pick. I don't want to pick one of those, so let's pick something else. So this is basically how it works, right? Just gonna go through till I find one is closest to the style. That. There we go. Okay, and the idea is we're going to here. Nani? On alchemy. Turn that off. This. Image to image. What's going on? All right, so we just put in some prompts. See what we get. Might be something cool. It might be completely useless. You never know with AI. It's literally nicely done. This is way more pixels than I think I can use. But thus we see now the power of AI. All right. So we're gonna just, since it's giving me roughly something that I can use, I'm gonna go ahead and give it 8 turns or 8 tries to try to figure out. And I'm gonna give it some more prompts. All right, let's see what it gives us. Most of these are probably going to be garbage, but I like this one the most, I'll be honest. This one is awesome. The rest are pretty much throwaways, but this one I like a lot. Yeah, I like this one and I like this one. Well, wait, no. This one, sorry. No. Like this, like they're just so cool. All right. So now after I get one of them, I'm gonna have to make a decision on which one I want to go with, right? I think it was the two that were really good was this one, I think. This one. And this one has like kind of the combination of things that I like in these two, which is that middle thing starts looking more cloudy, like it's almost like a cloud on the chakram, which is awesome. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to upscale it. Right? Let me see what's the pixel. What is the size of this image? Does it tell me? Um, download it. The size of this picture. All right. Now the question comes down to actually how many pixels is this? Because I highly doubt if this is actually 32, then I'll be super happy. But 99.9999 million. Yeah, this is a lot more than 32. That's why it looks so good. It's 512. So if I decided that I wanted to do a 512 uh, piece of art, this would be awesome, right? Which it's fine. I was hoping that it would go 32 if I told it 32, but 512, since it's set up to 512 here, it's going to do 512. That sucks. But at least we get an idea of like, these would be great, like icons of the weapon, you know? Like I could put this into like the inventory screen and that would be the icon. And then the actual weapon might not look so pretty, but it would be the weapon. It would give pretty good visualization. This is, I think, the best one, to be honest with you. I mean, they ate it a little bit here, but outside of that, the first one was the best one. So this is something that I can come back to down the road. Since we don't care now, since we know that it's going to be an icon, not um, the weapon. So let's just grab this one and we're going to upscale it. All right. Now the thing with upscaling is that it's supposed to fix like these little things that are happening. And it didn't. Yeah. It's supposed to have fixed that, but it didn't. So it is what it is. But yeah, anyway, that's an idea of how AI can help speed up art. Because now I have a ton of examples of things that I could use for like icons and things like that, instead of having to draw it at a much higher resolution. I can actually just have the AI redraw this piece of junk that I made. That's not it. This piece of junk that I made. Oh, there we go. As something that actually looks pretty cool. This looks like trash, but it'll be serviceable for what we need. Anyway, instead of denigrating my own work, uh, where the hell is this thing? A sprite. Where did it put it? RPG artwork. Yes. Okay. Where is it? Oh. have to reload it. Okay. Yeah, so this is it right here. Okay, good enough. So now let's go in and open up Godot. All right. So let's that was me working on art. So now let's actually take that art and bring it in. So we have a section for sprites. We have characters, tile sprites. Now we're going to make a new folder. Items. And in items, we're going to have weapons. And in weapons is where we're going to get sprite. Okay. So now there's two things that I'm going to have to do, right? First one is I want to add to this a node. And I assume this is going to just be node 2D because it's going to have a position, and we're going to call it weapon pivot, right? So the idea is that we're going to be using this as, so the way that this is supposed to work is we're going to have the pivot point for this thing. Where is it? Is it going to show it to me? I think this is it, yeah. So the pivot point is going to be on the center of the character, right? The weapon itself is going to be kind of disjointed from the pivot point, right? And it's going to follow the mouse. So it's going to look towards the mouse. It's going to follow the mouse. Now in Unity, it's pretty simple to set this up. It's going to be a slug match, I figure, probably with Godot. I don't know. I'm about to find out. All right. So let's save this. The weapon pivot, it's probably going to want a script on it. All right. Or, yeah, it's probably going to want a script on it. And that script is probably going to want to handle getting the active weapon off of the player. And if it does get a weapon off of the player, it's then going to want to instantiate that weapon and set up its position relative to the player. And the data that it's going to be using to know where it should position the weapon from itself is going to be on the weapon. So this is going to require going to the player really quick. And I think this is probably going to be something that is probably only going to be true for the player. Maybe NPCs, also certain NPCs, humanoid NPCs. So I should probably put this in the persistent level. Let's go to the script. Let's go to, let's actually go to the entity level, right? I think we can do it like this. So at the entity level, we want to know, actually before we go here, let's do the weapon itself. Let's make the weapon. And in this weapon, we're going to make a 2D scene, 2D node, right? And it's going to have, should it be a 2D node? This is a very interesting. So there's another possibility. Instead of doing it the way that I was thinking about doing it just now, the weapon controller, or the thing that controls the position of the weapon, right? It can be this script in and of itself. It could be the prefab of the weapon itself. And then the weapon is handled from here. I think this is better. Because then all we have to worry about on the player or any NPC is really just equipping that weapon instead of having to have any logic besides just the weapon itself. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry. I was thinking that what I want is actually a few things, right? So let's go back to here. We're going to just delete this. I don't think we need that. Delete node, yeah. Okay, so what I think we want is a couple of things. First and foremost is the weapon node 2D is gonna be it's gonna have to be a node 2D because it's needs to, I believe it's gonna need to have a position in world space. And I think, I'm not sure if nodes just generate, let me check actually. I think regular, oh, we don't have regular nodes here. Oh, yeah, here we go. Yeah, these don't have transforms. Right, yeah. Okay. So node 2D does have a transform. So we're going to need a node 2D, right? And it's going to be broken down into this. There's going to be two types of weapons, right? There's the ones that usually enemies use, and then there's the ones that humanoids use, right? So humanoids can use the ones that enemies use, but generally speaking, the ones enemies use should be specific to that enemy. For example, a wolf biting you, its attack point is going to be pretty consistent. It's at its teeth. With the NPCs, with the player, with and so on, they're kind of going to be wanting to have additional control. Right, player is going to have to have additional control over how their weapon works. So ideally, you'll have this node that we'll instantiate as a child of this. And then on that node, we're going to put a state machine, I think, which effectively will be tracking if it's in the middle of an attack. If it's in the middle of an attack, so by default, it's going to want to follow the mouse, right? Or if it's an NPC that's controlling the weapon, it's going to want to follow whatever it wants to target, right? So on the dungeon player itself, or maybe on the on the entity level, we might want to have something that's tracking, hey, is this thing attacking right now? If the is the entity in an attacking state, right? Because if it's in an attacking state, then we might want to do things or not do things, right? So so then on the weapon itself, it's kind of going to operate similar to like how abilities operate, where the weapon will just have a execute. And the weapon will execute its um, whatever, some attack. So I'm thinking the weapons will have, let's say, a default attack, and we'll check to see if there is an active attack coming from the entity. And if there is one, then instead we'll use the active attack. Right? So I'm thinking there's going to be like combos and things like that. Well, not exactly combos, but yeah, they are combos, combinations, sequences to attacks. So those are maybe three different types. So let's say like you have three different attacks that you can do. There's like light and heavy, and you might have combinations of light and heavy that gives you different attacks, or just light, light, light gives you three different light attacks. So we need something that manages that also. Okay, I think we're getting closer to it. I think we're getting very close to it. It's just a matter of organization. Um, okay, so let's go here and let's first make a um, let's first make a new script. Attach a script. So this is what we're gonna call this weapon control. This is the weapon controller, right? It controls what's happening with the weapon there. And then we need the data of the weapon. This is where I should have, maybe I'll end the stream here and come back because I need to do some research on resources. Because this is the point now where I would have used a scriptable object. And I still don't know if resources are a viable alternative. Right? But essentially what's going to happen here is I need to have the weapon's data for different reasons. I need to know its attack power. I need to know the type of weapon that it is, so on. So I would think that I don't want to have that type of information as an instance of in data, sorry, as an instance in memory unless I need to. Which in this case, I only need one. I don't need all of the weapons in memory. I only need one. So to do that, I should just be able to get it through data, right? And once you do that, uh, let's take a look. Let's see. Let's put the wheels on the road and see if we can figure it out on our own. It might be faster to try to like look it up, but let's look it up. Let's try to test things out and see, feel it out, and see if Godot is intuitive for me enough to be able to figure this out on the go. I doubt it is, but you never know. So first we're going to going to attach a script to this. The script is going to be called weapon controller, and we're going to, it's not going to be built in, no. It is a separate thing. Create. No 2D. Yeah, makes sense. Okay. So then we're going to call this the weapon controller. And we're going to just say, for now, nothing. Next, we're going to say, all right, weapon controller, you need to know who owns you. This is going to be an entity. Right? Um, oh, it's already something. Okay, then, wait, so what does owner do? Let's find out. Funk something. owner. Oh, cool. This seems kind of a bit much, though, but I only use this in specific cases. Okay, understood. Um, okay. So yeah, so, yeah, so next is we need to know who owns this, what entity owns this weapon, because we need to be able to get certain things from it. Um, Next we want to have a reference to the sprite itself. So let's add child node, and it's going to be sprite. Let's see. This is not an animated sprite, but yeah, this is not an animated sprite. Yeah. Come on, there we go. Yeah, it's image texture, I think is what it is. I don't like this. Let's just go with the one that I know. Or we can do it this way. 2D and see what it comes up with and just okay. Um all right. So now it took Sprite 2D and we just put in a texture. Got it. All right. Understood. And then we can just change the texture by script later. So this should just be delete. This should just be Sprite 2D. And then we can just add whatever texture we want. Got it. Okay. We understand now. We understand. So next we have to go back. This is where, again, we're going to end up back at we need to have some understanding of data. how data operates in this thing. Let's do this first. Organization is key. Uh, controller. I mean, there's many ways to go about it. I would rather do it via something akin to a scriptable object. Make like a class and just store all of the relevant data in that class for all of the items that are going to be in the game. But I don't want to do that, right? I would rather have a resource file and then have references built in to that resource. So instead of building out the resources in a class that then I go into, because then all of that, it has to be loaded. I would rather just load the ones that I need when I need them. That makes sense. All right. So, yeah, I think we're going to pause or stop this stream here. I need to do some reading. I'm stuck on this because nothing is... Okay, let's just keep going. Let's keep going and see what happens. So, first we need to have... var weapon data. Right? There's no class for that yet. I'm assuming this is going to be a resource. Let's put that here. Okay, then we're going to go to on this name func ready, and we're going to say weapon data is equal to low is equal to entity dot current weapon. Right, that doesn't exist yet, so we're just putting that there as a placeholder. Then next, I'm going to say oh no, oops, weapon, active weapon. We can put this instead of weapon data. Active weapon is going to be equal to current weapon. So we need a class. Basically, this is off. So what I need is, if the current weapon is going to be just a resource and it's just data, right? We can't simply just instantiate it into being the active weapon, right? Instead, what we have to do is we have to make a class for the weapon itself. That's what we have to do. Active weapon is going to, and then after we, so I got you. So basically, I got you. We need a new class. Okay. It would be a data class. And we're going to create new script, and we're just going to call it weapon. That's what it is. Okay. Then we can go here, and it's going to extend node, right? Actually, no, it's going to extend node. Actually, no. When we instantiate it, this design is throwing me off. So basically, the weapon controller, part of me is saying that it should exist on the character. The other part of me is saying we can do this by making it part of the weapon itself, right? So if this is the weapon controller, the character is going to instantiate a weapon controller. Is that what's going to happen? I don't think so. I think what should happen is that the character, yes, it instantiates a weapon controller when the character comes into existence, right? But if the weapon changes, it doesn't instantiate an entirely new weapon controller for that weapon. What it should do is it tells the weapon controller the weapon changed, and the weapon controller just updates the information. So the weapon controller should be, got it. So this, we're doing okay. We are doing okay. This is going to extend node 2D. Does not just node by itself. And let's make that new over here. It's going to be a new 2D script. This is going to be the weapon itself, right? And so my knowledge on how Unity works is that you want to separate the visuals from the mechanics. So from here, instead of putting this here, because this doesn't have anything here, good. This is going to have on it attached script. There we go. Okay, so this should now have that script attached to it, I believe. So now, whew, all right, so we can get rid of, let's close out some of these things because this is getting kind of crazy. We don't need dungeon movement for now. Uh, close, close all, save. Yeah, sure. Okay, so we need weapon open and we need the weapon controller open. There we go. Got to remember to keep those names the same. Okay. So now the weapon itself is what's going to have the visuals. The weapon controller is simply something that we're going to instantiate to the player if the player equips a weapon. Now the reason why we do this, shoot, my brain is thinking Unity. That's the problem. So I don't know if you can just simply disable this because from what I've tested, you can't visual disable. I'm not sure if that doesn't seem to actually stop the code or disables whatever is going on with the code, right? I think it's just queue free and you get rid of something. I need to check that out too. So those are two things that I need to check out. So that's shame on me for not doing that first. But we now have this active weapon, which is going to be something that inherits, or sorry, is of the type weapon, right? And when we go here, this is going to be class name weapon, right? And let's get rid of that and save. Yeah, sure. What do you want to save? We want to save this as these are scenes. So we're going to save it in scenes. And these are going to be, I guess we can call these mechanics. New folder. Systems. Yeah. Save. Okay. So And the same thing here. Save. Okay, so uh, this is a class weapon. So now the class weapon needs to have certain things that it wants in it, right? It needs to have var sprite, which is the sprite text texture, maybe 2D. Yeah. Okay, that makes more sense. So this needs to have the texture 2D. This needs to have, keep this simple for now. Damage is going to be float. And I think offset, which is going to be float, right? So the offset is going to be what this weapon's offset is from the weapon controller. But it's not really, this shouldn't do much, right? Then we're going to say var we need to get the right. This changes to texture. Texture. This is going to be sprite 2D, and we're going to say on ready. Ready? Okay, yeah. Sprite is going to be equal to sprite 2D. Right, and okay, good. And we're going to attach add a node sprite 2D. Done. So that's really it. This is just the weapon in and of itself. What we need is the original data. Right? That's what we need. So then after this, we actually need one more thing, which is func update. And it's going to pass in the data. And it's going to then say texture going to be equal to data dot texture. The damage going to be equal to data dot damage. Offset, same thing. Right? And that's basically that. So now it needs another thing, which is going to be the area. So we need to have an area. So this is going to be right. Actually, I like this better. Hurt box. No, damage box. Because you're dealing. There was somebody who actually worded these perfectly. I can't remember what it is. Hitbox and hurtbox. I think that's what it is. So we're going to call this the hitbox. And we're going to call the one that's on the player or enemies the hurtbox. the hitbox is going to be equal to oops, okay. And yeah, I think that's it. So let's put in a hitbox real quick. Okay, it says it needs a collision shape, right? Yep. And I think we have to add the node collision shape 2D. And then we go here and set the shape to I think a circle is fine. Right? And then now this we're going to try to send a signal to the weapon. It's going to say uh, area 2D. Hmm. Hmm. This is weird, right? I would think that it would have something for when another area enters. Let's just check that. Emitted when the receiving area enters this area. I think this is it. This is what I'm looking for. Because these are rigid bodies, and I'm not well, sorry, physics body. I'm not using that for this, right? I want to try to stay away from using rigid body for this stuff. I find I get super distracted when I start messing with rigid bodies. So, emitted when the received area 2D enters this area. Requires monitoring to be set true. Can I... Nope, can't. I mean, it has... I think I have an idea. I can get more information. We can probably just click that. Yep, there we go. And we're looking for area entered. Emitted when the received area enters this area. I think this is it. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. All right. All right. So a couple of things we just learned, but we're going to take care of it now. First, let's go back to the weapon, and then we'll go here. This is what we're looking for. And yeah, we're going to connect it to the weapon. So this is another way of handling this. I don't think we're going to do this. Let me see if I can connect it the other way. I don't like connecting it like this. So we're going to say let's take a look at the player real quick, just to be sure. Yeah, it has a collision shape. Hmm. I don't know. Now I'm confused because I don't think that that's doing what I. It's a good thing I didn't do this. Because when I look at that, it's. You know what? Wait, where are you? There you go. Okay, so apparently that's a thing. What does that mean? That means that we have to do this. Okay. Um, right. So basically, if the player can't hit themselves with their own weapon. Next. So, so next we want to do a couple things, right? First, we want to make a signal. What am I missing? Yeah, whatever. So first we're gonna send out a signal saying we hit a valid target. Right? So we've gotten past this. We've wiped out the invalid target. So now we just say utils dot send. We're going to be sending two signals. We're going to send hit a valid target, and then we're going to say and then we're going to say we need to create one more criterion. We'll do that after this. So first we'll say, all right, we hit the target, and then we'll send what the damage was that we hit the target with. And we need something else. I think that's it. I don't think we need to send anything else. The target only cares about the damage it received. Alright, so we'll do it that way. Oh, that's what we need. Okay. We also need to make a list here, where I think in Godot they don't have lists. They just have arrays. Or recently yet. Okay. Right? So by the point that it sends this, the script would have hit a target. Right? It's done its damage. But I want to ensure that it isn't going to keep hitting things. Like, let's say I slap something across the face. I want to create a kind of cooldown, internal cooldown on this. So it doesn't hit the same target in a spam kind of situation. So to do this, we're going to have I forget how to do this. I think it's just const. Internal cooldown is going to be equal to 0.1. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay. And I want to make my constants obvious. So we're going to put internal. That one word. Okay. I have no clue if that's how it's done. Let's take a look at what arrays are. Push back. Right, okay. So pushback is what we should do. And they, of course, they don't give us any. So we'll assume that it's going to work like this. Right? Given our experience with how much of a mutt the dictionary is, I'm assuming that this will just take anything. It doesn't care. I don't need to specify its type. Can I specify the type? Yeah. Oh, wait, we can. I think. So we can make. Yeah, that's in the constructor. Okay. Yeah. This is how it's poor. I mean, I don't want to comment on it because I really am not sure if it's poor design or what. Because in my mind, if you leave this dynamic, if you give it fine, but at least give it a clear out in line to allow for the construction of this, right? Because then at least we can pick and choose what we want to be dynamic. So if this is going to be consistently accessed and I don't want it to be dynamic for that purpose, then if something's only being accessed once, I don't care if it's dynamic. but if it's something that might be accessed multiple times. Anyway, um, funk. Hmm. Okay. Um, fair enough. So if the current cooldown is less than that, then return. So if we call this and the current cooldown, Okay. Okay. So yeah, I just wanted to see if that would look how that would look. All right. Now we need to make a now we need to make an internal process for that. So if but I don't think so instead of an array, we can do this. Right? And then right? So now what we want to do is we want to add right? And that's what we want to do in the end. So first we do a check if the recent has the area. If it does, then we want to see if that area is already off cooldown. If it isn't, then we just return out of this. Otherwise, we go ahead and add that area. Okay. So now that area will be added to. I'm debating if this should be like a global thing here. Like this should be something that's on like a singleton. And everything can just refer to this. Rather than having this exist at this level. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, let's do that. I think that's a good idea. So let's create a new script. We can call this game data. Right? And in this script, we can basically just extend node, and all it's doing is it's going to say, like in this case, what we need, weapon. And the weapon, so game data is here. So what we need is this. Okay. Now, while you can't actually, you can't have static properties, you can have static functions. Let's see, static func, recent hits, and we can push out dictionary, right? And in that dictionary, we can say return recent hit. Will that work? Cannot access instance variable recent hit from static function. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I would need to pass in. Hmm. That would be so awesome. In Unity, in order to do this trick, what I would have to do is do an invoke on a non-static function, or rather a instanced property. So this is an instanced property. So this is operating as it would normally operate, because if I tried to do this in Unity, it would give me the exact same problem. So what I actually want to do, or the way around this in Unity, would just be to do this and then invoke this. Let me see something. And yeah, see, this is the closest thing to an invoke, which is the connect stuff. You know, let's give it a shot. Let's try it. Let's see. No, it wouldn't work. Because you can only ever do a, I would need to be able, I would need to be able to call the, the emit from outside of a function. I don't think you can do that. And there's only one way to find out. All right, let's try it. So we have signal get recent hit, rather on get recent hit. Okay. And then we can do something like that's a, let me check here. I don't think there's a lambda operator. Hmm. I don't think this is relevant. Define target object.call. Sorry. That's so stupid. That is so stupid. It's dumb. That is horrible and dumb and stupid and wow. Just wow. That is a heck of a limitation. Wow. That is wow. Okay. It's still not done. Holy shit, there was more. All right. So this is one way. We're going to say that this is a possible way to get that what I was thinking to get done. Believe me, in C sharp, this would have been like 2 lines of code. In this, it's that was crazy. That's insane. That is like hoops and hurdles and whatnot just to get a simple process done. Um, okay, let's try this. Hold on one second. Damn it. Ah, ah, damn. Hmm. What am I missing here? I feel like there's a piece of the equation that I might be able to, like, finagle this thing. Man, the things I took for granted in C sharp, I was just using this stuff like all the time. Made life so easy for communicating, but they want you, so this is entirely possible, but you have to use these, and I do not. The reason why I'm doing this is because I don't want to use these. Right? There's other ways also, but I would rather have like a dedicated script, and I would rather not have to refer to that script, and I would rather not have to have a if I do make a reference to that script, it'll be just for that particular use, right? Rather than having to do a search for the node and whatnot, which is what GDScript wants me to do, and I don't want to do that. So that's why I'm dancing around the topic right here, trying to get this script to do something it doesn't like doing. I wonder. There's one other thing that I can think of, but I'm just naming this whatever I because it's just testing. Ah, you bastard. Like, damn. That makes. Okay, let's think about this differently. Let's think about this differently. I don't think this can do this, but we're gonna try. First, try it this way. What the heck is going on with that? Uh, there you go. Okay, good. If this works, I don't think I've ever seen anyone do something like this. But I highly doubt this is going to work because the way that I'm thinking of it is to make an a sub function, but I don't know if this supports sub methods or sub functions or whatever. But we'll find out right now. Well, first I want to see if I can do this without going into a sub function, right? Uh, okay. So first let's do this. Whoops. There we go. Okay, so far so good. Okay, so now this is going to call this, right? That's what that's going to do first. So the player calls recent hits. Damn, it's so annoying that this is forcing me to have to do this stuff, but it is what it is. So now something. Let's do funk, find hits, collect hits. Will this work? Interesting. Now, before I do anything else, let me see something. And this work? Nope, doesn't. Still considers this a static, which is awesome. All right. Um, so this is going to call. If we could just make a static property, that would have been so freaking awesome, bro. Man. We could do something like that. Right? And then we can go like this. If this, There's a couple of things that are missing from this, right? This does not have a return type connect, and it doesn't have a variation of it that has a return type. Internal connect here, however, can call another function, which is this. However, the way that this is going to operate, I think maybe what I can do is possibly a coroutine. I think the Godot's coroutine system works a little bit differently than Unity's, where you can like break into code, break out of that method into the coroutine, and then back into this method after the coroutine takes care of something. Right? And I have not touched. So this will actually turn into a coroutine video rather than a, because I'm about to study up coroutine. Let's find out. But I think that's what I'm looking for. I think that's the utility I need. Coroutine. Okay. Let's ask this thing. Where is it, Godot? There we go. Damn. This is crazy, bro. Like, this is absolutely crazy. I can't believe that this is the level of nonsense you have to go through for such a simple procedure. So it looks like GD script kind of forces you. Oh, this is so painful, man. I hate the way that this thing is set up. I legitimately, I think I'm taking a break. This isn't how This isn't conductive to how I like. I don't like the idea that I must have the information on an object in a scene, right? I don't like that idea at all. Even if it's not a heavy, like a hard dependency, that's still a dependency. What GDScript seems to want is for me to try to do a get node. Now, despite the fact that this thing should be preloaded, it should be in the scene. I mean, the bigger the project gets, how much stuff am I going to have to put in these scripts, or how many different scripts am I going to have to preload? Like, that is disgusting. Right? I mean, that's terrible. But this comes back down to that there are no static classes in Godot. Yeah. It's a static class in name only, right? Which means that it needs to exist in memory. You see where this is? This is the magic right here. It extends node. It has to exist in memory. It doesn't. Boy. Which means that this is going to be preloaded. This is so painful. I mean, yeah, it is what it is, right? I'm going to take a break. I think I'm getting programmer anxiety.